The objective of this, of calling this conference is on two counts. One, to explain what happened in the parliament, which led to the passing of the constitution of the budget, and number two, to respond to the press release which was issued, press conference which was held by the primate of the ECS. To start with, as you know very well, the new Minister of Finance, after assuming the office, he studied the budget and found that the national legislature had decided to increase the salary structure from 400% to 600%. After thorough study, he came to realize that he himself, as the Minister of Finance, will not be in a position to pay the 600% immediately in full. This is because of the constraints that he has learned and that he knew, because he is originally an economist, that he knew that the government of South Sudan and the people of South Sudan are facing. So he found that it will not be sustainable for us, for him as the Minister of Finance, and will not be realistic for him to accept the budget as it is decided by the Parliament and accept the 600%, after which he will later be blamed and held responsible for the delay of salaries. He said it is not sustainable for us in the Ministry of Finance to raise the necessary required funds and pay the 600% in time. And as such, he made an appeal to the Parliament. He appealed to the Parliament and explained to the Parliament the reasons as to why he believes that the most appropriate and the most realistic is to maintain the 400% now, and within 5 months he will be in a position to move to 600%. And he gave a lot of reasons. Among them was that we need to be realistic and talk to the people of South Sudan in clear words, in black and white, not to deceive them, because it will be unrealistic for him to accept a budget to be passed and then he fails to pay at the end, and we go back to that same situation which had been happening before, when we could go for 2 to 3 months without salaries, after which a 1 month salary is paid. That is the same situation which we were moving to if the 600% is accepted. This is why he advised that let me be realistic to you as members of Parliament, as representatives of the people. I'll be frank with you and tell you that this is the situation. We don't need to deceive the people of South Sudan, the employees, the public servants. We don't need to deceive them and then we fail to pay them. We better tell them what we can afford now and then work for the rest to come. This is one. Number two, Even this 400% which we are accepting now is a recipe for inflation, very serious inflation, because we are not controlling the market. We have talked of free market economy. And that free market economy is being exploited by others. That once there is a rise in the salary, it automatically happens in the market, which is not supposed to be the case. So if we start even with the 600 now, that 600 will still go to the market, because the market will not be controlled and there will be no change in the situation. This was the appeal of the Minister of Finance and Planning. He appealed to the MPs, to the members of Parliament. In response, the parties signatory to the agreement talked. They have their chief whips. The FDs talked and they supported, they stood with the Minister of Finance saying that yes, we need to be realistic to our people. The SAWA talked and they stood with the Minister of Finance. OPP talked and they stood with the Minister of Finance. SPLM talked and they stood with the Minister of Finance. Only the IO objected. Only the IO objected, and not that only. The IO objected and threatened that if any changes happen, then we are marching out. That was before people could even deliberate. It is unfortunate that our people have not understood, or some members of Parliament have not understood how proceedings are conducted in the Parliament. Even if you want to walk out, you walk out at a time when you have participated in the deliberations. After the deliberations, if you are still insisting on your position, then this is a time, when time for voting comes, then you march out. But when you decide to march out before the deliberations, it means that it was a predetermined position. It was something already decided, and as to whether whatever happens, you must go out. And as such, IO went out. The game being played, and which led to the marching out of the IO, is a clear game. They want to show the people, or want to deceive the people of other political parties, that we are the only people who are caring for you. We are the only people who are caring for you. All the rest are not, they don't mind about your own livelihood. But did they care about the lives of the people? Leave the livelihood. Which comes first? Is it the life of the people or their livelihood? So they should not mislead people with the belief that if they raise the salary structure to 600%, then they have won the confidence of the people. No. They are deceiving the people of South Sudan. They are not realistic in their approach to the issues of South Sudan. And as such, they should have not marched out. And they should have not gone out and propagated that it is only they who care about the people of South Sudan. They went as far as saying that they went out with the people of Sawa. I don't know if there was anybody from Sawa who went out. I'm saying this because it is now spreading from that time when they decided, I say it was a predetermined situation because when they went out, they came, the first deputy speaker of the parliament took out his already written letter, speech from his pocket, and he started reading it to the media, which means that it was something already predetermined. They had decided to leave it, to leave the parliament irrespective of whatever happens. This is in order to tell the people of South Sudan that people should not listen to these misleading informations. Because after all, if there is anybody that cares for the people of South Sudan, it is this government. Not that only, but I'm surprised we are in the government of national unity. If we are in the government of national unity, then who is that person who calls himself an opposition, meanwhile he is a party in the government? This budget, when we pass it in the cabinet, we were all there. And now when it goes to the parliament, we are no longer together. This situation is not acceptable. And if anybody believes that he is a member of this government and is a member of the government of national unity that came into being as a result of the agreement, then please my appeal to the colleagues of the IO that let us respect the provisions of the agreement. Not that only, but this is another way of obstructing the implementation of the agreement. We are being charged of dragging our feet because we don't want the agreement to be implemented and because we don't want to go for elections. This is another way of obstructing the way forward. This is another way of obstructing implementation of the agreement, and this is another way of obstructing movement towards elections. Though there are those who are opposed to the elections, because the positions are very clear. You are in the parliament today, we don't know if you will come tomorrow. You are a minister today, we don't know if you will make it tomorrow. You are whatever today, you are not sure of your position after elections. What will be the outcome of the elections? Those who are not sure are the ones who are obstinate and obstructing the implementation of the agreement, because they don't want to go for elections. And as such, they start to create a lot of obstacles on the way, so that when we reach the end of the road, we'll say, well, we have not made any progress in the implementation of the agreement, so let us go for another extension. This is all that people are running after. This is the cause of all this, because people do not want elections. To those who do not want elections, we are going for elections. And anybody who doesn't want to go for elections, please don't stand on our way. Leave us alone so that we implement the agreement and go for elections. It is the people of South Sudan that will decide. It is not through obstruction and deceit of the people of South Sudan that they will vote for you. No. It is when you implement the agreement in letter and spirit that the people will now come to believe that, yes, these people are genuine and we need to vote them in. So what I'm saying is that all that had been happening is a mere propaganda. A mere propaganda, so that you smear others or people who do not like the people of South Sudan, and you pretend to be the only person who cares for their lives, for the welfare of the people of South Sudan. We in this government, we care for the welfare and the lives as well. We care for the lives first and the welfare of the people. And this is what we are. We'll continue to implement the agreement because we'll continue with others to implement the agreement. If the IO wants to abstain from the parliament, it's up to them. But we have passed the budget, and it was signed yesterday by His Excellency the President, and it is on effect now. It is already signed, and all the other political parties are together, standing together for the implementation of the agreement. We'll continue with the implementation. And for the IO, I say, yes, you have boycotted the parliament, but you come back to the parliament because we have already done the job which we did not want. We have passed the budget. And within 5 months, the minister will present another supplementary budget whereby the salary structure will be raised to 600%. This is the reality on the ground, and these are the facts that on which the Minister of Finance requested the Parliament to look into them. And I'm thankful to the Parliament for having considered that and understood the real situation in which the new minister is. We are optimistic that the new minister will deliver services to the people and will improve our economy. This is what I can say about our sitting on Friday, the 11th August 2023. In this extraordinary meeting, which was a long meeting, the Parliament resolved to pass the budget in its third and final reading, which was the fourth reading, with the sum of 400,000 increment, and with the minister to present another budget within 5 months to increase the salary from 400 to 600%. This is what I wanted to clarify so that the people of South Sudan can know what actually happened. If we are not here to deceive the people of South Sudan, but we tell them the truth, because we are here to call a spade, not to tell the people a different story and then we do a different thing. That is not the situation in which we are. We are here to implement the agreement and make sure that we progress and move forward. That is about what happened in the Parliament on the 11th of August 2023 and how the Parliament went on with the process. Of course, with the movement out of with the IO boycotting the Parliament, the majority continued as it is. There were over 300 people in the Parliament, and it was passed. So it was unanimously passed because it was IO alone. All the other political parties remain in, and they passed the budget.